Good morning, everybody. It's Positive Tuesday today, May 30th, 2023. For Barron County Sheriff Chris Fitzgerald, I'm Ben Dryden, and you're watching Positive Tuesday with Ben and Fitzy, presented by Professional Exteriors and Interiors. With 20 years of experience, this locally owned and operated business provides quality work both on the outside and on the inside of your home or business. Give them a call today because just like Fitzy and I, they believe it's the little things that make a big difference. The number's right there on the screen, 715-520-2271. Today is, I'm not making this up, today is National Fakes Giving Day today. Fitzy, what are you fakesful for?
Fake? I don't know.
Like, I don't even really understand what it means.
Yeah, I don't know. I was reading your definition here, and I don't know.
Yeah, I sent it to you for reference. Thanksgiving, celebrated on May 30 this year, is a holiday celebrated either to honor the fact that family and friends can be celebrated at any random time, or a sarcastic version of the Thanksgiving holiday. I don't fully understand what it means.
Well, we don't have to celebrate that one today.
Okay, good. Good. Well, obviously, so thank you for, first of all, being on this morning. There was, I think we left off last week's show. At the end, we were talking about Memorial Weekend coming up and all this stuff. And you said, hopefully, by next week's show, today, no press releases will have been sent out because that means it was a safe and a happy not holiday. Everyone was safe. No press release from the sheriff's office. That's a good week at the Barron County Sheriff's Office. Unfortunately, I get up, this morning at 4, and I see a press release from you at 12:15. So Thanks for being on, first of all, for the fact you must not have had a whole lot of sleep. We can get into that here in a little bit. Obviously, that's going to be a little heavy there, but, it is what it is. Right. But to kind of start the show light, as always, let's do our sports questions.
Okay.
So I'll go first. So obviously last night was the Game 7 of the Eastern Conference Finals. Miami was up 3-0. You had them winning. I had Boston winning the series.
Yep.
Be honest.
Yep.
After they went up 3-0 and the Celtics came back and they won 3 games in a row, who did you actually think was going to win that game last night in Boston? Did you still think Miami was going to?
Oh, hang on. I'm trying to fix this. I'm going to get a lot of those today.
Did you think they were going to before the game started?
I was hoping. I kind of thought they were going to.
You're just picking up and hanging up?
Yeah, I am. I don't know why.
Don't you have a volume thing on it or something?
I do. That's what I thought I hit. But anyway, I thought Boston. I was surprised Boston came back. I didn't think Miami played well, but I felt Miami was going to win. I picked Miami to win. I was sticking with Miami. I'm going to stick with Miami. I don't think they can beat Denver, but I'm hoping they can because I want Miami and Florida Panthers to win it all from 2 Metro teams. So really close to each other, and I want them. So
why Florida?
Florida Panthers are in the
but why? Why is that one of your favorite teams, or you just want them to win?
No, I just want them to win now. I just think it'd be cool if this two teams won that were really close to each other.
That would be kind of cool. Good for Florida. Yeah. They need some positive news right now. What a dumpster fire. That whole state. All right. I actually had the Celtics winning it, but as you and I have talked before, Celtics live and die on 3-pointers. And they shot 9 for 42. They shot more 3-pointers. Now they're behind most of the game. But more 3-pointers than 2-pointers last night. And they shot 9 for 42. That's 21%.
I didn't get to watch it, so I don't really know because obviously we were at this crash. But I kept getting my score updates on my phone in between when I could get a signal. So.
Yeah, because you just need to have a mental break there. And good morning, by the way, the people that are saying good morning. Mike, obviously, he's Golden Knights.
Yeah. I get it, Las Vegas, but they've been in it. I think they've been in existence for 5 years, and I think they
haven't earned it yet.
Yeah, but they've been in it. Stanley Cup Finals, that's great. I'll just go with Florida.
Okay,
let's go with the underdogs. Let's do it.
Okay,
underdog away.
All right.
So who do you think? Denver obviously is going to take on Miami now. Who do you pick for there? Who do you got now?
See, I don't know if it's a 7-game series.
Right.
So, and I don't think it'll be over. No, it won't be over by next week. So I don't know if we. I don't know. It's does Miami have to win one of those first two games in Denver in order to win this series? Because Denver has home court advantage. If Denver wins the first two, is it over? Or like most people say in basketball, it's never really a series until you win on the other team's court. But if Miami can split it 1-1, I think they have to, right? I don't know if they can go down 2-0 and win. I don't see it.
Do you think the rest helps them or hurts them? I mean, they've been off 7 days. This is the second longest rest between series. Miami's hot, but maybe they're tired. I don't know. I don't think they should play it so fast. When you look at the NHL, they don't play their first game till Saturday. They're giving some teams some time off, and I don't think Miami should have to play right away. I think
when is the first game?
Well, Thursday is the first playoff game for basketball, and Saturday is the first playoff game for hockey. So
wow, yeah, that is weird. They should get a little more time off. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know how that works. I think Miami has to win one of these games in Denver. If they don't, I don't know.
They'll be okay.
Yeah. All right. So obviously we have some heavy stuff to get to. There was a press release sent out. The headline was tragic. This is our headline. Tragic crash claims lives of 2, leaves several injured in Barron County. We also have an article, jury returns verdict for man charged with multiple sex crimes against children. You had a canine and an officer, I think, that graduated for something. We want to get into that. We'll do all that in 15 seconds after a word from Spooner Health.
Satisfaction surveys and in conversations with patients, they appreciate the fact that staff got to know them. Staff really took their preferences into account, and they just feel grateful that they are being cared for as a person.
To learn more about our services, visit SpoonerHealth.com.
All right, so unfortunately there was a fatality, 2 of them, I believe, in that crash last night. Walk us through this. From you get that first call, it's on a Monday night. Are you at home?
Yeah, just sat down, working all day, just outside, enjoying the weather like everybody else was enjoying the weather all weekend, and putting the garage back together after a graduation party. And congratulations to all the graduates. Graduation was beautiful Friday night. The weather was awesome all weekend. But as I was driving in, listening to the radio this morning, and there was multiple fatalities across multiple counties this weekend, traffic crashes. Highlighted the news, and we do have some good news, and we always try to highlight good news. But yeah, last night as I'm sitting down, gonna eat some hot dogs and some potato salad. What else do you do on Memorial Day, right? So, I got a call and saw that there was a major crash in the county, and it was a 2-vehicle crash. So it'd be south of Barron and north of Ridgeland, down on right on Highway 25. And that's a busy road already. And so we had there was 14 people hurt in that crash, and 2 fatalities as of now. We had 9 ambulances, 4 helicopters, multiple 2 fire departments, the DNR, State Patrol, multiple state patrol agencies. The Wisconsin State Patrol they're just awesome. They reconned it. We got the road back open. They helped us whenever we needed. The Wisconsin State Patrol's there. It was probably one of the, I don't want to say worst crashes, but it was the chaoticness of the scene. I don't know. It was just 14 people hurt.
Hold on a second. So for people who have not read that article or that press release, I'm sure you put it on your page too. We put it up this morning, but some people may just be kind of slowly getting up and getting going and are unfamiliar with what happened. So you're saying there was a 2-vehicle crash, but 14 people were involved. So
probably a van and a car. A van is traveling north on 25. The car, I'm not getting into the cause of it right now. The State Patrol is determining the cause. There was a stop sign involved. They collide, and the van rolls over. The car goes into the ditch. The van actually starts on fire during this. So now we've got a fire. We've got a car with 4 people in it. And we've got a van with 9 people or 10 people in it. So we have 14 people injured.
So it was like a conversion van, 10 people.
Yeah, it was like a 16-passenger van, one of those bigger vans.
Yeah.
So ultimately, when we get a call like that, some people say, it's a 2-vehicle crash. And so you send an ambulance and you send a fire department and you send the
Yeah.
police.
Yeah.
And then,
Unfortunately, this happens often.
right. But as more information, we're like, oh no, there was multiple people in the van. So you send a second ambulance. And then when our people get on scene and it's on fire and there's multiple people. So then we used, I've never been to a scene that had 9 ambulances. I don't even know if the tornado, when that happened, if we had 9 ambulances.
Where do you get all these? You don't
Yeah.
have that many ambulances in Barron. So they must be coming from, everywhere.
Well, there was 2 from Marshfield. There was a Mayo ambulance. There was a Cumberland ambulance, the Steck ambulance, the Dallas ambulance. That's all of the ambulances we have in Barron County. Then we had the Colfax ambulance. We had the Clear Lake ambulance, the Boyceville ambulance. I mean,
Oy.
we were talking. Yeah, and I think we had 2 Boyceville ambulances, actually. I think my press release said. So then we might have had 10 ambulances. And you think about that, 10 ambulances, 14 people, that's not even enough yet,
Right.
Normally an ambulance, 1 person, 1 ambulance. I mean, that's what you try to do because you got to get care. You only have 2 medical people in the ambulance. So you've got to get care to these people. Now we have 14 people. We had 1 deceased, 1 died. A second person died at the scene. We landed 4 helicopters in a field. I didn't even know we had that many helicopters. We had 3 Lifelink helicopters and a North Memorial helicopter, all landed on the scene, and we flew 3 people out.
The driver of the van was 54. I'm reading this right off of your press release on 2 17-year-old males were flown from the scene in critical condition. It's very early still.
Right.
Do you have any update on the status of that?
Okay. I don't. But they are critical. And so, we don't have, thank God we don't have a lot of fatalities in Barron County. Once in a while we have a double is, we rarely, and now this one could be actually, you could have, you could have,
could be multiple.
People. Yeah. There could be, and it was chaotic. I mean, the firemen are trying to put a fire out. Then the grass started on fire because it's so dry. And then a power pole started on fire. I mean, you got all of this is going on while you're trying to help 14 people that are injured at the same time. And
it says here also a deputy was also transported, treated, and released at an area hospital with smoke inhalation as a van started on fire after the crash. How was the obviously already released, but how was the deputy?
The deputy is released. Had to spend a couple hours in the hospital. She is home recovering at this time. But what happened there is the van was on fire, and there was a person that was unconscious outside the van, and the van was obviously on fire with grass. The fire was spreading very quickly towards him, and she had to actually drag him away from the fire. He ultimately later died, but she didn't know that at the time. Yeah. We just go into rescue mode, and we had to get the people away from the burning van. We didn't know if it was going to explode. We didn't know how. It was just chaotic scene. I mean, I don't know how to describe it, but our deputy's doing great. I mean, obviously, that's what our deputies do: is risk their lives to save others, and that's what she did. Is jumped right in there and said, "I don't know, it's hot." But she inhaled a lot of smoke and was coughing, and so we had her checked out and ultimately transported to the hospital. We went to multiple hospitals. Again, you're talking about ambulances, but all these people got to go to a hospital. So we're talking, we were in Menominee, we were in Barron, I think we were in Rice Lake. I mean, we were at multiple hospitals that need staff too. So, so that's just
and those families to have losing a loved one. It's never a good time, to have a tragedy and a death. Never. Mm-hmm. But I've always, for some weird reason, and maybe this is morose, but having a loved one die on a holiday, I feel like that's somehow worse. Now it isn't, because a death is a death. Right. A tragedy is a tragedy. But now, like every Memorial Day, it's just for that family. Right. You can't really celebrate or what the Memorial Day is originally meant for. Of course, our veterans and our fallen. You can't even really enjoy that. Enjoy is in, do they really go out and go to these services? Because they're mourning. Last year on Memorial Day, my son died, or my uncle died, or I just, I know it's dumb, but I feel like it's worse when it's on a holiday. Just because now you have to like relive that every holiday.
Well, you try to celebrate holidays in a positive way, like,
Right.
and you just can't now. And the more tragic part that many people don't know yet is the 4 people in the car were all related. So, and they were all kids, and they were, I don't know where they were coming from or where they were going to. They were none of the families were from Barron County.
I was gonna ask if that was all right. Basically ask you that. Are they from the area? Not that makes it better or worse.
Right. No. So, but their family, other families showed up. So my guess is they were coming to or from a cabin or a vacation, or I don't know what the story is. I don't know the backstory, but other family rolled up on scene, probably a half hour after the crash or so. And so we had to deal with that as you're also trying to deal with this. And so, I felt bad for those parents having to choose which hospital they go to be with their son or daughter, or son, I should say, no daughter, sons. And that's just tragic. And then one dies, and it's just,
Yeah, and it said
terrible.
here, to people who don't know, a 54-year-old male in the van and a 13-year-old male in the car passed away from injuries. So it was a 13-year-old.
Yeah.
I mean, my goodness gracious.
Yeah, and there was 2 17-year-olds were flowing. The van driver was 54. He was flowing. It's just, and I just can't. I think somebody put it on there. The first responders. I mean, they were rock solid, and we've said that thousands of times on this show how great the first responders are in Barron County. The firemen, the ambulance people. I mean, the hospital people. These are the people that don't get the holiday off because we need them, and we sure needed them all last night. And like I said, I talked to our dispatchers this morning. I mean, they had never dispatched that many ambulances to a scene. They were calling other counties saying, hey, get us more ambulances.
Oh, my goodness. I never even thought about the dispatchers who have to coordinate all of these ambulances.
Yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Right. And so, I mean, it's just, it's teamwork. It makes the dream work. I mean, it's truly what it is. And I've said that a lot. I mean, it's just, they're awesome. I mean, I can't say it enough. And it's tragic. Our thoughts and prayers are with the family, of course, but we have to think about our first responders, our dispatchers, our ambulance, our firefighters, our helicopter people. I mean, think about that. We had 4 helicopters landed in a farmer's field. The neighbors that came out and just brought water and said, what can we do? And blankets and pillows and, and that's the stuff you don't think about. Oh, this is, my good blanket, because you're going to get blood on it. And that just goes out the window when something like this happens.
And that sounds silly, but it isn't. That totally isn't silly. Right. Just thinking about something small like that, a blanket that maybe was passed down, or my grandmother made this. That never enters your mind. At least that's what I'm assuming. Right.
And the neighbors are awesome. Like I said, our deputy will be fine. The Wisconsin State Patrol is reconning it. The Wisconsin State Patrol has it. A lot of people are going to ask. The van was an Amish family in the van, so we're working with them on that. So the ages were from 8 to 54 in the van. If you can, now we have little kids. The dad is the one that passed away in the crash. So it's just and then a 13-year-old dies in the middle, and you're trying to comfort this family, and you got another family over here, and everybody's on scene. Everybody's, you go to these scenes, and a lot of times you don't have, the family isn't there, so you don't have that secondary thing. I mean, my captain was there with me, and we're strictly basically dealing with families here that are upset, crying, hurt at the same time, and don't know which way to. Usually you can just call a parent and say, hey, sorry to do this over the phone, or we try to do it in person. Hey, but your son or daughter's been flown to X hospital. You need to go there right now. And now we're dealing with that on the scene. I mean, it wasn't, my staff is awesome. I mean,
and what they had to go through, these first responders, which we've also talked about. There's that mental health aspect as well.
Yeah.
I mean, they have to witness these things and see these things and be a part of, and then they're expected to just, go back to work. Yeah, no big deal. Right, part of your job.
And then let's go to the next thing.
Right?
Yeah. And and now our deputy can't work today and has to take time off, and it's just, and and they'll get through it. They're rock solid, and we appreciate all of the, right now our team knows it's the family needs your thoughts and prayers, but when we're in a bad spot, everybody backs the law enforcement and the EMS and the fire, and that's why it's so important when there's a pancake breakfast for firemen. I assume it's Camarama coming up, or you had one up there for the fireworks. I mean, it wasn't for first responders, but it was for a community event, which backs, when you get that kind of community support, that helps other things. It's like Freedom Fest.
Which I'll be talking about at the very end of the show. We're going to start doing, well, I'll just say right now, real quick, we're going to be doing ticket giveaways starting, so every show in June, we're doing ticket giveaways for every Tuesday. We're doing ticket giveaways. So that was pretty much what I was going to say anyway. So anyway, but it is, and that is money is going to help out first responders and law enforcement. I mean, what?
So
that's
go
awesome.
there, have a good time, spend some money, enjoy some great music, and all that money goes right back into the community. It's brilliant.
It is.
That should be a sold out show right now. It should be done. If you really support law enforcement, EMS, fire, you go up to Spooner to the Freedom Fest. That's what these festivals should be for. That's what this is for, the community. I mean, I follow the sheriff in Dane County, and they had a Brat Fest this weekend, and they had 100 nonprofits, and he sends all of his deputies down into this Brat Fest to help with it and work it and make sure it's safe. And all of the money goes to every nonprofit in Dane County, and it's this huge Brat Festival. I mean, that's what our festivals should be for, our nonprofits. And hats off to this people in Spooner for nailing this one. They did it awesome. It's going right back into our community and our fire and EMS, because a lot of what we learned in Cameron and Barron over the last month is these smaller departments don't have funding for debriefs, for mental health services for their people when they go through a tragic event like this. We're blessed. The county has money. We set aside money for this. Some of these smaller departments do it, don't have the money. The Sheriff's Association, the Chiefs Association, and the Deputy Sheriff's Association went into their bank accounts and got $15,000 for Barron and Cameron to do debriefs. And then that money is going to stay in an account for our Wisconsin leader team to do debriefs on this. And so it's the little things that make a big difference. That's a little thing. Didn't cost anybody money. Go to the Freedom Music Fest and you're giving back to the community. I mean,
so when we do the tickets, you can. Oh, shoot, I don't know. I was going to have that already for next week's show when we do giveaway. It's just Freedom. We had a big banner on our website, DrydenWire.com. So just click on that or something. But like buy your tickets, and then if you end up winning tickets, then just give those, donate those, or just like go and buy a couple of tickets. And then if you happen to be one that wins, one of these ticket giveaways that we're going to start doing next month, then great. Then you get, take another one or two people, however we decide to do this, with you, or donate those to somebody else. But I mean, that's the whole point, is to do that. Right. To actually, don't wait to get a free ticket and hope that you get it. All right,
and it's very inexpensive. I mean, and I know everything costs money nowadays, and the price of eggs and milk, and I get it. But this is when somebody says, "What can I do?" Hey, become a sponsor, buy some tickets, and just give them away yourself. Just go buy 5 tickets. I want to support law enforcement or fire in Spooner or wherever it is, and
it's for the whole region, right?
Yeah, well, yeah.
It's not they've
offered it to us. We just don't have. I mean, it's a very busy weekend to find volunteers, but they've offered it to us to come up and help, and we just have a lot going on that weekend. It's going to be difficult, but I want to go up there and
Shanny's
check
on
their garbage.
Shanny
there it is. Shanny's on it.
Thank you, Shanny.
FreedomMusicFestWI.com. So, I mean, they knocked this one out of the park, and they're going to give money back to our community. I mean, they got to pay their expenses, and they've got a lot, but they put on a great show and have the best garbage around, like we said.
So if anybody's watching, maybe you've never watched the show before, there's a reason that Fitzy's he pays attention to how garbage is being handled at events.
It's the little details.
It's a thing for him. The little things make a big difference. Hey, there was scrolling up back through, there was a question, so this is a little off topic, from Jody. It said, not to bring up bad memories, but should Hunter's body cam be on Facebook? Think of the family, please. We had talked about that last week. I didn't know it was on, I'm sure it's out there. So, I mean, you can go to the DOJ's thing, and I think it's there, and it's redacted stuff. I know that when we talked about this last week, we're not posting it on our website or on a Facebook page. Not saying that it isn't necessarily appropriate or inappropriate. There's open record stuff and whatever. I just wasn't comfortable with that. I didn't want to post any of that stuff. But do you want to address what Jody had said?
I would have loved to have not been released. The Department of Justice released that. We did not release it. We didn't share it. We didn't tell people where to go look. We didn't do anything like that. That is a public record. There's some laws in there that maybe could have been enacted to stop it.
There are exceptions to open records requests.
Right. There are some exceptions, probably not in this case, because there's, I don't think so. So yeah, the DOJ releases it. You see body cam footage across the country being released. This is where, things from the George Floyd incident, that's where law enforcement went this way. And now we're probably going to have to swing back because now everybody's like, well, I don't want all that released. Well, you guys want, I'm not saying anybody here, but I'm saying that's how the mainstream media went, is we got to know everything all the time about everything. And now we're like, well, I don't want to know about everything. So, we've got to be somewhat careful.
Right. Yeah.
And it's no different than we've talked about with Katie and St. Croix County. We went away from patting down everybody and putting you up against the car and telling you to put your hands behind your back, even though you weren't arrested yet, because for officer safety standpoint, we kind of got away from that in law enforcement. And I think we need to bring that back. But then people get offended because we violate your rights before we arrest you. And we're not violating your rights. We want to go home at the end of our shift. That's what we're going to go to. So I think the pendulum always swings. It goes this way, it goes that way. And I think, it's little things that we can do.
That's right.
That can change it. And so, people don't like that. I agree. I don't like it either. I didn't know it was going to be released until that day. But the DOJ releases it when the findings get released by a district attorney's office. DOJ releases their findings, their video, their whatever they have. So,
well, at the end of last week's show, I got a message from someone, maybe it was a text that was watching it, and said, I appreciate that you're not posting that information on the website. No joke. I received a submission request on our website. People, that's where you can email us, and asking how come that we didn't. Why didn't you do that? What are you covering? I'm like, you just can't win. Half the people
are, DrydenWire's covering it up. It's on the DOJ website. You just go look.
That's what I did. I'm like, here's the link to it. You can go. I'm just not posting it. I don't think it's appropriate. But that's just me.
And that's just how you don't. I just, we better not.
I know. We're going to get in trouble if we keep talking about this.
I got a couple little things to talk about.
Please.
What else do you want to talk about?
Oh, just real quick, I had only two other things written out underneath our press releases and article segment. An insider story, I think it was just yesterday, so it has to do with Barron County. The headline was, jury returns verdict for man charged with multiple sex crimes against children. This was a Michael Dixon, multiple sex crimes against children under the age of 13. Complaint was filed. This was an investigation by the Turtle Lake Police Department, so it wasn't specifically your office. The jurors, they only deliberated for like 45 minutes. And they came back, found him guilty on 5 counts, including felony first-degree child sexual assault, a whole bunch of other stuff. Like, the words are just gross, even, I don't want to say them out loud. Skipping, his bond was remanded, and he's in your jail right now, and he's scheduled for sentencing. So they found him guilty right away.
Yep.
Anything you want to add to that? What do you want to say?
Jury nailed it. I don't know. What do you want me to say? Was awesome.
Really, this is a success story, in my opinion. A good investigation. Everyone did that. And when they come back in 45 minutes, I mean, that poor defense attorney. Like, I got no shot.
That's not even enough time to go to the bathroom and pick the jury for him.
No, I love seeing that, because there's sometimes we talk about some of these, and it's, I don't like this. I don't like this and this. I understand judges have to do blah, blah, blah. But this is one of those that I'm like, all right, now, we'll wait to see what the sentencing is going to be in July, and maybe we'll have another conversation. But no, yeah, you're 100% right.
I think there's some mandatory minimums here, so that's good.
Yeah.
But he got convicted on all 5 counts. And again, some people forget always there's officers and deputies that have to do all these investigations, social workers that have to deal with all of this. And this is why I'm asking for 2 more cops. This is a complex case that has to get right. And the first time, this accident last night has to be, we have to invest the time. We called multiple people in last night to make sure that we did this crash right. The State Patrol had multiple people there to make sure it gets reconned and everything was all that. We only get one shot at this. You can't just go out there and say, oh, we made a mistake last night. Let's put the cars back where we found them and do this again. Or let's re-interview this kid. You don't want to victimize people twice, and you got to ask all the questions, and that's why we invest time in this, and that's why I love doing the show, because we get to talk about that no one wants to talk about. I don't want to talk about interviewing a child that was just sexually assaulted. That sucks, but that's what our deputies and officers are doing. I don't want to say on a daily basis, but more times than they should be, and that's where we hope judges put these people in prison. That's what prison's for cases like this. I'm pretty sure there's mandatory minimums on this one, so he'll be going to prison. He can't get out. His bond was remanded. He went right to court or right to jail. That's how it should have happened, and that's how it should.
And I don't know if it's like a OWI, where if someone gets arrested for an OWI, or in Wisconsin, just traffic violation, basically. Right, you just get a ticket. But I've heard that it's probably not your first time doing it. Typically. That's what I've heard. I don't know if it's true or not, but it's more than likely not. You just happen to get caught this time. And I don't know if I don't think it would be nearly as much, but when I see these, someone doing these, horrible things to children, I wonder how many else that person, or not specifically this person, but those people have victimized. Right. That never came forward and talked about. So that always makes me feel even better. So yeah, this may be the one that is actually came forward, and there was the interviews and the forensic stuff, all this. But I wonder if there's more.
Right.
So
it
I'm
depends.
just saying, I feel like there's more to all of these stories.
Yeah. I would probably disagree with that.
Okay.
I've done a lot of sexual assault.
That's just me. I don't know if there's more, but I like to think that there is. In terms of justice being served for a person.
You're right, though. You're right on, because this is my first time ever drinking and driving, and I got caught. What are you never have. Right.
Yeah, and I don't think it's nearly that high. Right. 2 beers. That's right. When you and Dad were doing the sheriff's off. Yeah.
So, but I think in sexual assaults, I think it's probably a more devious thing, and so I think there's a lot more thought goes into it in some cases. I'm not saying
good.
In some cases.
That's
in some
good.
cases there's not, but I think, I don't know. I would probably, somebody would probably argue that with me, but I'd probably
either way. Glad the jury found him guilty.
Right.
We also real quick had we did Canines join the ranks. There's a headline: Canines join the ranks of Barron, Polk, and Sawyer County Sheriff's offices. And by the way, someone had messaged us and said, and also Rice Lake had one, but we were just doing it on the 3 sheriff's offices. And I don't know how many police municipalities that we have in our 6 counties, but I'm like, I'm not going to go through everybody's thing and contact everyone to find. So I apologize that Rice Lakes wasn't on there. It wasn't on purpose to admit it, other than I just wanted to do the 3 sheriff's offices that I knew did it.
Well, and we contacted you. I mean, Brent Walk reached out
Brent.
to you.
Yeah, he was the one who actually suggested this. Sheriff Walk had called and said, "Hey, we had one finished. I believe you were there, and Doug Morotek was there. So you may want to get their information and then just do a story." I'm like, "Yeah, that's a great idea, Brent. Thank you." So that's how this all started. So tell us about about it for your canine and your deputy.
Yeah, well, Sergeant Ryan Hallbeck is our canine handler, and Canine Jasper is our new canine. He graduated from 14-week training, so he's ready to hit the road. Actually, tomorrow he starts on the road, so he'll be out there. He's an 18-month-old Belgian Malinois German Shepherd mix. He's from Poland. He's used for narcotics, search and rescue, criminal apprehension, and PR. And they do it all.
PR?
PR, public relations.
Yeah.
we use dogs for public relations because everybody likes a dog.
Oh, okay. I thought I'm like, he can't write press release. Like, what do you?
Press releases.
In my head, I'm like, this doesn't make any sense.
No, and so Canine Jasper hits the ground, and we have Canine Coda. So we have 2 canines available. You know, Sheriff Walk and Sheriff Morotek also had one. Chief Rue also had somebody trained. So now we've got 2 dogs back in Barron County, 3 dogs if you count R2 plus Rice Lake. Turtle Lake has a drug detection dog only. There's only does drugs. So we're working on Canine Coda will actually retire at the end before the end of this year, and we're going to replace that Canine Coda with another canine very shortly. We're working on that right now. So canines are a big tool, another tool in our tool belt that we like to put in our tool belts, and they are, you know, they're the ones that we send in, so we don't have to send an officer.
No kidding. I would literally be more scared of a dog rushing in the house than a cop with a gun. Or maybe not. I don't know. No, actually, no, seriously. I'd actually be a little bit more scared of a dog. Because that's weird that way, but... And it's so crazy that when they get trained, like, they can be the nicest, kindest, sweetest animals, like just, big puppies. But they can also be very tactical,
Right.
which is weird how they can just turn that on and off. It's so bizarre.
Well, and people think they can hide from a cop, which they probably can. I'm probably not a good searcher, but they can never get away from a dog. So
Yeah.
I'm not winning at hide and seek.
Yeah. You should have the dog chase all the bad guys going forward.
Exactly.
You should have one in the back of your vehicle.
Deputy Hallbeck did a great job. And, hats off to his family that had to deal with him being gone for 14 weeks over in St. Paul Academy.
They stay there the whole time.
Well, he comes home on the weekends. It's a 40-hour training week, so it's not like he was gone. He came home every weekend. Sometimes it was nights, and so he came home during the day.
But still, you're gone, right? Yeah.
Yeah, you're gone. It's tough on a family. So hats off to him and his family for allowing him to do that. A canine is you've got to invest a half hour every day of training your dog. It's a lot of work. One position I've never held in any form of law enforcement. Canine handlers are. They've got to do the most work in the department. So,
wow,
they do a lot.
All right, you said you had a couple things.
Donut Dash. So I'm hoping that I know a media outlet that'll advertise this for our Donut Dash. So,
brother,
I'm sure a local newspaper will pick it up.
Oh,
so, but our Cops and Robbers Donut Dash is coming up, and again, here's the shirt. Hang on.
There we go. Stop. Don't move. Cops are. Oh, there's the shirt. The back. Oh, nice. Nicely done.
And obviously we put our logos for 608 and 614. That's Hunter and Emily on the back of this shirt. But our shirt orders, you can order just a shirt. You're not a runner. You're not a walker. Just order a shirt. All this money goes to our Shop with the Cop. It's tough to talk about Christmas in July, but it's only $25 if you order now. Get your orders in right now. It's
where?
On our Facebook page.
If I run this thing, I won't charge you. I'll run all this information for free. Do I get in exchange? Do I get a free shirt?
Sure, I can get you a free
shirt. I'll just pay for it because it's for a good cause. It's fine.
No, I want to. And so, so and you get free admission to the Saturday of the fair. The fair donates a free admission to the fair on Saturday, but people do it just to help Shop with the Cop.
Yeah.
So we get donuts in the middle of the race. You get donuts at the end of the race. Marketplace donuts are good, and they're the best. And Marketplace donates the donuts to us. So that's put on by our law enforcement foundation, but it's just a great cause. Saturday morning of the fair, the race is around the lake. It's a great course. It's just fun. Come out, get a great T-shirt.
Derek's going to order one. No kidding. I will still run that for you for free. It's not a big deal. But I will actually pay for one because again, come on. That's. I know it's that time of year where everybody wants a little bit of money for everything or for something. And, pick whatever you want. That's fine. And if this isn't your jam and it's something else and you just must clearly hate cops or kids because that's what this is for. If you hate kids and you hate Christmas, then, it's no big deal. Give some $20 to some other, fundraiser.
just think of this. Now you're wearing your shirt, you're doing like 10 over, you get pulled over, like, oh, I support that.
Yeah, I think pragmatically now. Come on.
Yeah,
This could benefit you. Well, I'm just buying a shirt, Shanny. I'm not going. That required me to go outside.
You can walk it.
No, thank you.
It's only 5K, and that's only 3 miles.
I don't know what that is. Oh, 3 miles.
It's 3 miles.
I'm not walking 3 miles. Are you kidding? You know how long that would take me?
We just come and eat a donut with me in the morning then.
All right, I can
come
do
to
that.
one.
Yeah, I can take some pictures or something.
Oh, there you go. We can do a live show. No, we can't. I'm too busy. So,
Okay.
All right. That's I think all I had.
Well, going back, you had already mentioned about the pig roast, which, by the way, we're going to call it next year. I thought after the fact, we need to start calling this Porkapalooza. That's what we're going to start calling it. But yeah, we had the headline up yesterday. Community support soars at Shell Lake Pig Roast. Funds 3rd of July fireworks spectacles. So it was a pig roast, Spitfire pig, something, I don't remember what it's called. And that was actually donated by Sawyer Creek Cattle Company, which
Sweet.
it must be Sawyer Creek Cattle and Pig Company now. I don't know. But they donated that. And then like the tent was the first time they had this huge tent. Somebody donated that for it to be used for that day. And it was supposed to be from 11:30 to 2:30. And by 1 o'clock, it was all gone. It was insane. An hour and a half. Now, speaking of just communities coming together and doing things, it's Shell Lake. Right. It's small town, little Shell Lake, and they raised $2,000 in an hour and a half. That's insane. Yeah. And it all goes to help keep the fireworks show free and the street dance free and bring people in so the community can all come together and have a wonderful 4th of July weekend.
Right.
And that's Shell Lake. I mean, Shell Lake, $2,000 in an hour and a half? That's
fireworks.
What?
You know, we always go. We drive from Rice Lake to go to Shell Lake Fireworks because it's always on the 3rd and there's nothing going on. It's great. And now we got to go to Spooner on the Freedom Music Fest and then Shell Lake, and it's great.
Oh, then we have our golf outing. When is that anyway? Is that July or August?
August.
Okay. I better get to the driving range.
Yeah, I better get my clubs out.
I haven't hit a ball since the last year's Spooner Health golf outing.
I did it. I'm going to try to get out and play maybe this weekend. I doubt it. I'll never get out. It don't matter. I can say I want to golf all day long. I'm not going to.
I know, me either. Why even just say it? So, all right. So Dirk, our official weatherman, says summer is here. The week warm and hot and humid temps, 85 to 90. Nice. Showers and thunderstorms are possible in the morning and afternoon and the evening hours all week long. Still plenty of sunshine as well. Hey, that's actually great. Right? If we can get some rain in the mornings and beautiful afternoons, fantastic. Yeah, I think we're supposed to get rain shortly, at least here. I think even in your area.
It's dark here. So, but it's warm. Everybody likes it. Great weekend. Congratulations. Somebody said all the graduates. Jace graduated this weekend. Congratulations. Very safe weekend for graduates. So that's a big plus. Not real safe. Well, it was safe on the waters, but we had over 20 violations that we cited people for over the weekend. I got an OWI on the lake this weekend. Nice. A couple more OWIs as I'm reading the jail roster right now. A few OWIs this weekend, so we've got to keep alcohol out of the mix. Summer's here. We're going to hit it hard. I got 2 emails while I'm sitting here about speeding complaints, so slow down, everybody. We're going to hit the speeding pretty hard this week as long as we don't get any more crashes. So thoughts and prayers to all the families again. Thoughts and prayers to all of our first responders. You guys are rock stars. And let's go support the Freedom Music Fest, and that'll all go back to our first responders. So.
Yeah, and we'll be starting, go there, get some tickets, and if you win some giveaways, which will be starting next week, every Tuesday on all of our shows in June, we'll be doing some ticket giveaways. We'll probably, we should get Amy Greenfield on one of these shows for that 5 good minutes, right? Have her come on for a little bit and just kind of, say a little bit more. And Dad, if you're still watching, show's almost finished. You can come up. He's coming up to get something. Out of the garage. And I said, well, don't come between 8:30 and 9:15. I'm doing a show. So
he could come in right now and we could get him in 5 good minutes with your dad.
5 good minutes with Dad. Oh, we totally should. That'd be awesome. All right. Thanks so much, Fitzy, and thanks for everyone, right? All right, cool. For Barron County Sheriff Chris Fitzgerald, I'm Ben Dryden, and you've been watching Positive Tuesday with Ben and Fitzy, presented by Professional Exteriors and Interiors. With 20 years' experience, his locally owned and operated business provides quality work both on the inside and on the outside of your home or business. So give him a call today, 715-520-2271. What's this now? Our wedding on June. Whose wedding?
Oh. Obviously, Jody's getting married.
Well, congratulations.
Hey, that's my anniversary. I can take my wife out for a free
For free
There you go. That's my anniversary. That's great.
Take her out for a free meal at her wedding. Oh, that's fantastic. All right, we'll see you everyone back next week. So till then, thanks for watching, and as always, have a blessed day.